Relax. You are about to have everything. There is a stillness, a quiet pulse beneath all the chaos. And if you close your eyes for a moment and simply breathe, you will feel it. That gentle whisper, that silent tug within your soul. It is the voice of truth reminding you that you are not chasing a dream that is far away. You are waking up to one that is already yours. You see, everything you desire is not out there waiting to be earned or fought for. It is within you now, encoded in your imagination, blooming quietly in the fertile soil of your inner world. Most people believe that they must struggle, strive, and sacrifice endlessly to receive life's gifts. But they miss the secret. The power is not in the effort. It is in the assumption. It is in the relaxed certainty that what you seek is already seeking you. To relax is not to give up, it is to give in to the truth. You are not begging the universe to notice you. You are recognizing that the universe already has. There is nothing more to prove. There is nothing more to fix. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too late. The moment you stop reaching outward and begin dwelling inward, you enter the sacred place where manifestation begins. Imagine for a moment that what you want, love, wealth, health, peace, is already yours. Don't analyze it. Don't ask how. Simply feel the warmth of it, the calm of having it. What would your day feel like if you woke up knowing all was well? What if you carried that sense of certainty everywhere you went? That is not fantasy. That is creative power. That is alignment. And from that inner alignment, everything you once pursued begins to flow to you naturally. You've been conditioned to worry, to fear, to try harder. But the laws that govern your reality do not respond to panic. They respond to imagination. When you imagine from the place of already having, you are not pretending. You are creating. You are stepping into the state that magnetizes the world you desire. And when you remain faithful to that state, not just for a moment, but as your dwelling place, then life begins to rearrange itself to mirror your inner certainty. You may look around and see lack. You may feel the weight of delay, but do not trust appearances. They are the echo of past beliefs. They have no power unless you grant them power. The real shift happens when you choose to ignore the evidence of the senses and relax into the invisible truth. Your wish has already been fulfilled, and your only job now is to rest in that fulfillment, to live as if the unseen is already seen, to move in faith, not frustration. There is no virtue in anxiety. There is no reward for struggle. The world has taught you to hustle, to beg, to suffer for what is already yours by divine right. But when you return to your true self, when you stop resisting the flow and surrender to your inner vision, then the gates open. The things you thought were impossible begin to arrive with ease, not because the world changed, but because you did. The moment you relax, you rise. You rise above doubt. You rise above fear. You rise into a realm where thought becomes form and belief becomes flesh. There, you don't chase blessings. You become the embodiment of them. There, you don't force outcomes. You feel your way into them. And the more you remain in that sacred state of knowing, the more effortless life becomes. So breathe. Rest your mind. Loosen your grip. Stop fighting the current. Everything you want is not ahead of you. It is inside of you. You were never meant to strive forever. You were meant to imagine boldly, to believe fully, and to receive freely. And now, if you'll allow yourself to relax into the truth, you will realize something astonishing. You are about to have everything, not because you earned it, but because you aligned with it. And that, quietly, powerfully, is enough. Close your eyes and observe the silence within. Not the silence of the room around you, but the deeper silence that rests beneath thought, beneath sensation. It is in that stillness that the truth begins to whisper. The outer world, no matter how solid it may seem, is nothing more than a shadow cast by the light of your inner awareness. Everything you believe, everything you assume, everything you accept as true within the theater of your mind becomes projected outward as the stage you call reality. Your inner world is not a place of idle fantasy. It is the creative engine of your entire life. Most people live in reverse. They wait for things to appear in the external world before they allow themselves to feel joy, peace, security, or confidence. But in doing so, they place their power in the hands of illusions. They become slaves to circumstances, never realizing that circumstances are just the echoes of their own persistent inner state. To live that way is to stand before a mirror and try to change your reflection by manipulating the glass. It cannot be done. The reflection will not change unless the face before it changes. The outer is only a mirror of the inner. If you are seeing lack in your life, whether it be financial scarcity, loneliness, rejection, or delay, it is not because the world is cruel or unfair. It is because your mind unknowingly has accepted and sustained an inner world of lack. You have rehearsed the feelings of being overlooked, unworthy, or unloved, and so the mirror had no choice but to reflect back that image. But here is where everything shifts. Once you accept that the inner world is the only true cause, you reclaim your power to transform everything. You no longer need to struggle against what is out there. You need only tend to what is in here. You can begin right now in this moment by choosing to imagine differently. You can see yourself as already fulfilled, already celebrated, already successful, not because the world has told you so, but because you have decided to feel it. You are not waiting on the world to catch up. The world is waiting on you to assume, to accept the truth of who you are, to see with the eyes of imagination, not fear. And this is not a call to escape reality. On the contrary, it is a call to wake up to reality's true nature. You were never meant to be a passive observer of life, reacting to what happens like a leaf in the wind. You are the wind. You are the origin of every movement that matters. The beliefs you hold, the thoughts you persist in, the scenes you replay in the theater of your imagination, they are not background noise. They are the architects of tomorrow's events. You do not need to manipulate the people in your life, convince others to treat you better, or chase opportunities with desperation. All you need to do is shift within. The inner movement creates the outer effect. There is a sacred simplicity in this. You don't have to understand how the world will rearrange itself to deliver your desire. You don't have to figure out the strategy or map out every step. You simply need to live inwardly in the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel it, occupy it, breathe it. That state is your new home. You visit it not like a guest who hopes to be welcomed, but as the rightful owner returning to a familiar place. You don't knock on the door and wait. You walk in, knowing it is already yours. Even now, you are creating your future with every dominant emotion, every recurring thought. And once you fully accept this, the outer world becomes less intimidating. You stop reacting to every challenge. You stop panicking over every delay. You no longer fear the unknown because you know that what truly matters is not unknown. It is within your control. If you want to change your life, you begin by changing your mind. Not through effort or struggle, but through assumption, through the gentle, confident act of imagining differently. The people who seem to have it all are not always the ones who work the hardest or chase the most. Often, they are simply those who have assumed deeply and consistently that they are already the person they desire to be. They walk as if it is already done. They speak from the place of fulfillment, not hope. And because they dwell in that state inwardly, life reflects it outwardly, sometimes in miraculous ways. It is not that they are lucky, it is that they are alive. So if you desire abundance, you must first become abundant in thought. If you long for love, you must first feel lovable within yourself. If you crave freedom, you must first feel free on the inside. Every shift in your external life begins as a movement in consciousness. The new job, the new relationship, the healed body, the creative breakthrough, they all arise not because you earned them through sweat and suffering, but because you inwardly became their match. This is the secret the world overlooks. You are not the effect of your environment. You are the cause. The outer world, with all its noise and distraction, may try to convince you otherwise. It may flash images of lack, delay, and hardship. But those images are only sustained by the fuel of your belief. Withdraw your belief, and the illusion collapses. Sustain a new belief, and reality bends to accommodate it. Not because you forced it, but because you relaxed into the truth that everything begins within, that your inner world is the blueprint of your destiny. And the moment you tend to it with care, with reverence, with calm certainty, everything begins to change. Relaxation is not laziness. It is not carelessness. It is the sacred art of surrendering into the deeper truth that your desire is already fulfilled. In a world that worships effort, glorifies struggle, and demands proof before belief, relaxation feels like rebellion. But it is the kind of rebellion that reconnects you to your original power, the power to assume, to imagine, and to manifest without force. The moment you relax, you stop wrestling with appearances. You stop fighting the flow. You step into alignment with a higher law, the law of consciousness, which creates all that is seen from what is unseen. To relax is to trust, not blind trust in external circumstances, but divine trust in the unseen reality you carry within. The moment you let go of trying to force things, you give your imagination the space to create. You cannot be anxious and creative at the same time. One is contraction, the other is expansion. Worry chokes the soul. Relaxation opens the door. When you are relaxed, you are not abandoning your desire, you are embodying it. You are saying with every breath, I believe it is done. And from that inner knowing, life begins to arrange itself not through pressure, but through harmony. We have been taught that effort is the price of success, that rest must be earned through exhaustion, and that we must always be doing something to get somewhere. But all of this is rooted in a deep misunderstanding of how creation works. The seed does not struggle to become a tree. The moon does not beg the sky to rise. The rose does not strain to bloom. Nature reveals this truth constantly. Alignment, not effort, brings forth manifestation. And you, being part of that same divine design, are no different. When you imagine yourself already in possession of your desire, and you do so with calmness, with stillness, with confidence, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious. That seed does not need you to dig it up every day and examine whether it has sprouted. It needs you to trust, to relax, to water it gently with belief, to bask in the feeling of having it now. That relaxed state is not passive. It is the most powerful position you can take. It is a statement to the universe that you are not hoping or wishing, you are knowing. Consider this. When you order something online, you do not sit at the window all day in panic wondering if it will arrive. You place the order, you receive the confirmation, and then you go on with your life in calm expectancy. That is the posture of one who trusts the system. And yet, how often do we treat our own desires with less faith? We imagine what we want, but then we tense up, we question, we doubt, we try to make things happen through force. Passion delays the delivery. It clouds the channel. It sends mixed signals. But the one who relaxes into the fulfillment, who rests in the feeling that it is already so, creates the clearest pathway for the manifestation to arrive. Relaxation is not about detachment from your desires. It is about detachment from the fear that they will not come. It is about unburdening your consciousness from the weight of needing to control. When you relax, you stop standing in your own way. You release the resistance that says, I need to fix this, I need to force this, I need to chase this. Instead, you say, I am already one with this. And in that unity, in that stillness, you become a magnet to the reality that matches your vibration. To be relaxed is to embody the state of the end. And the state of the end is always peaceful. Think about it. If your dream were already true, if the money were already in your account, the love already in your life, the health already restored, how would you feel? You would not be tense. You would not be rushing. You would be calm. You would move through your day with ease, with grace, with joy. That feeling is not something you wait for, it is something you create now. And when you live from that place, you begin to draw the future to you, not with effort, but with resonance. People often ask, what do I do while I wait for my manifestation? The answer is simple. Stop waiting. Start living as though it has already happened. And how do you do that? By relaxing into the version of you who already has it. Walk like them, think like them, rest like them, speak like them. Do not perform the role. Become it. The relaxed you is the fulfilled you. The one who is no longer striving but enjoying, no longer chasing but attracting. Even in the face of circumstances that contradict your vision, relaxation is your weapon. It is the quiet defiance that says, I do not bow to the illusion. I remain faithful to the inner truth. That stillness is not weakness, it is strength. It is power, and it communicates more clearly to your subconscious than any desperate prayer ever could. The subconscious does not respond to begging, it responds to conviction. And conviction speaks loudest when it is silent, when it is calm, when it is still. You are not here to struggle your way into abundance. You are here to realize that abundance is your nature. You are not here to fight your way into love itself. It is leap year that your awareness is already within you. You are not here to fight your way into freedom. You are here to recognize that the door has always been open. And the key to walking through it is not effort, it is relaxation. It is the sacred trust that what is meant for you is already done in the unseen and is now making its way to you through alignment, through peace, through surrender. So let go of the tension, let go of the timeline, let go of the fear, drop your shoulders, breathe deeply, close your eyes, feel it, know it, live from it. And then watch as the world bends, quietly, gently, invisibly, to bring you the evidence of what your inner being already knows, that you are about to have everything, not by chasing, not by begging, but by relaxing into the truth that it is already yours. Imagination is not a distraction from reality, it is the foundation of it. What you imagine with intensity, with faith, with emotion begins to take form in the unseen before it ever becomes visible. It is not a child's game or a dreamer's fantasy. It is the blueprint of creation itself. Every structure you walk through, every tool you use, every movement in the world first existed in the mind of someone who dared to see what had not yet appeared. The invisible always precedes the visible, and the bridge between desire and reality is the unseen act of imagining what is already yours. Most people make the mistake of using imagination as a form of escape. They visit the state of their desire briefly, like a traveler passing through, but they do not dwell there. They fantasize for a moment and then return to the real world with doubt, looking at their present circumstances and declaring them more true than what they felt within. But imagination must be treated as more real than the facts that contradict it. The outer world is only ever catching up to the inner vision. If you can hold the image long enough, If you can sustain the feeling without interruption, reality must obey. It has no choice but to conform to the image you refuse to let go of. It is not enough to wish. It is not enough to want. Imagination is not begging, it is becoming. When you imagine from the end, from the place where your desire is already fulfilled, you are not watching something unfold from a distance, you are stepping into the identity of the one who already has it. You walk differently. You speak differently. You move differently. You don't just dream about wealth. You carry yourself like one who is well. You don't just desire love, you dwell in the feeling of being deeply loved. You don't hope for healing. You accept it inwardly as already complete. That shift in imagination is the shift in destiny. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is imagined vividly and what is experienced physically. It responds to feeling, not fact. And so when you use your imagination with clarity and emotion, you are impressing upon the subconscious a new version of reality. And once impressed, the subconscious must outpicture it in your world, whether through events, opportunities, people, or miracles that your logical mind cannot predict. The bridge of incidents that leads you from where you are to where you desire to be begins to form the moment you imagine it with sincerity and persistence. You must understand the difference between imagining about something and imagining from it. When you imagine about wealth, you are still separate from it. You are a beggar looking through a window. But when you imagine from the state of wealth, you are inside the house, sitting at the table. Living from the end, you are no longer asking when it will come. You are living in the conviction that it is already here. That internal movement is not a mental trick. It is the birthplace of transformation. You are no longer hoping, you are knowing. You are no longer waiting, you are being. The great shift occurs when you stop using imagination as entertainment and begin using it as creation. When you close your eyes and step into the scene that implies your wish is fulfilled, feel every texture, hear every sound, taste the victory, breathe in the joy, and embody the peace that would be present if your desire were true. And then, when you open your eyes, walk through the world as though nothing has changed, because inwardly, everything has. And that is how you create the conditions for your desire to become physical. That is how you close the gap between the unseen and the seen. Imagination is your divine gift, the silent architect of your world. You have been given this power not to fantasize idly, but to shape reality deliberately. Every time you replay scenes of failure, rejection, or delay, you are rehearsing a future you claim not to want. And yet the subconscious accepts it without judgment. It takes in your most dominant emotions and creates from them. You cannot claim to want abundance while imagining scarcity. You cannot desire love while revisiting memories of betrayal. You cannot ask for healing while dwelling in the identity of the broken. You must see differently to live differently. This is why it is said that faith is the evidence of things not seen, because imagination is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual sight. You are looking through the eyes of your higher self and choosing to believe in a reality that exists beyond what your physical senses can detect. And once you choose to stay in that vision, to feed it daily with your attention, to protect it from the interruptions of doubt, it begins to crystallize. The world bends not to your effort, but to your inner vision. Do not ask how it will happen. The how is never your concern. That belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs all creation. Your role is to remain loyal to the picture you have painted within. Even when nothing appears to change, especially when it doesn't, that is your cue to go deeper, to feel it again, to walk the scene again, to imagine yourself in the new state until it becomes more familiar to you than your current reality. Until the vision becomes so alive within you that the outer world must reflect it. This is not about forcing thoughts. It is about becoming still enough to feel The clearer the feeling, the closer the manifestation. And if you can hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled long enough, the world will rush to meet you. Opportunities will rise from places you never noticed. People will appear at the right time. Circumstances will shift in your favor. It may seem random. It may seem miraculous, but it is not. It is the natural response of a world obedient to your inner world. Everything you will ever manifest must first pass through the gate of imagination. It is the womb of reality, the first and final place where your desire takes shape. Ignore what you see with the outer eye. Believe what you feel in the inner world. That feeling is the seed. That image is the command. That imagination is the bridge. Walk it faithfully and you will arrive in the world you once only dreamed of. The greatest deception you will ever face is the one that comes dressed as truth, what your five senses tell you in the midst of waiting, doubting, and desiring. The world outside of you, the one you see, hear, touch, and taste, is not the master of your life. It is the servant. It is the shadow. And a shadow has no power of its own. Yet how often do we find ourselves bowing to circumstances, reacting to what is visible, adjusting our beliefs to match what we can measure and calculate? This is the root of delay, not the absence of opportunity, but the presence of doubt, born from trusting the wrong source. The senses are reporters, not creators. They show you the harvest, not the seed. They reflect the past, not the present moment of power. To ignore the senses is not denial, it is wisdom. It is the decision to believe in what your soul knows, rather than what your eyes see. The senses will always show you the remnants of your old beliefs, your past assumptions crystallized into form. If you declared lack within and persisted in it, the world has no choice but to echo back scarcity. If you entertain betrayal, the world must reflect scenes that confirm that. But the moment you change the assumption, quietly, inwardly, completely, the world must begin to shift. Not immediately in appearance, but inevitably in unfolding. The senses, being bound by time and matter, will try to convince you that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, everything is already rearranging. You must learn to trust the unseen more than the visible. This is not naivety, it is spiritual clarity. It is the understanding that the outer world is like a delayed mirror, always showing the residue of yesterday's inner state. If you want to change the reflection, you do not polish the glass, you change the face before it. And that face is your inner assumption, your emotional posture, your imagined identity. When you stop needing the senses to verify your progress and instead rest in the feeling that your desire is already true, you move into alignment. You become untouchable by fear and untied to time. You live in the future before it happens, and in doing so, you call it into the now. Many people break their manifestation just before it arrives, not because they didn't imagine properly, but because they grew impatient with appearances. They looked around and saw no change. They checked the bank account, the phone messages, the doctor's report, and said nothing is happening. But in that very statement, they abandoned the state of the wish fulfilled and returned to the state of wanting. The subconscious, hearing the complaint, responds faithfully, not with judgment, but with reflection. And the cycle repeats. The delay continues, the promise is withheld, not by the universe, but by the one who stopped believing in silence. Silence is sacred. It is the space in which the new reality is born. And in that silence, the test comes. Will you believe what you feel inside, even when nothing outside affirms it? Will you stay loyal to the image you've planted in your mind, even when the world shows you the opposite? This is the measure of faith. And faith is not passive. It is a powerful inner movement that says, I do not need evidence, My feeling is enough. That feeling is your signal to the universe. It is the vibration to which all things respond. You don't have to prove anything. You only have to persist. The challenge, then, is not about doing more, trying harder, or forcing reality. It is about remaining still in the storm of contradiction. When the senses scream lack, you whisper abundance. When the world shows rejection, you embody acceptance. When delay appears, you relax deeper into trust. You do not wrestle with appearances. You outgrow them. You transcend them. You look at them and say, "This is old news," because you know that what is real is not yet visible, and what is visible is not yet real. It is already fading, already dissolving, already being replaced by the new state you have claimed. Think of the actor who must perform as if the entire story has already unfolded. He cannot break character just because the set hasn't been built or the audience hasn't arrived. He must hold the role, live from the script, and trust that everything else will align in due time. So must you. You are the actor and the writer of this experience, and you must hold the role of the fulfilled self with unwavering conviction, regardless of the set, regardless of the lighting, regardless of who applauds or who doubts. You must ignore the senses and trust the role, because the role you assume becomes the world you live in. To live from the end means to feel it, believe it, and think from it, not about it. You are not watching your future unfold, you are inside it already. You are touching the reality that others cannot see. And the more you return to that inner experience, the more magnetic you become, the more irresistible, the more aligned. Circumstances will bend, people will shift, events will unfold, not because you chased them, but because you became the one for whom they were inevitable. You must decide what matters more, what you see or what you know, because the two will not always match, at least not immediately, and in that gap you must hold attention with grace. The temptation will be strong to lower your vision to match your conditions, but the invitation is higher. Raise your condition to match your vision. That is the work, that is the discipline, and that is the key to unlocking the unseen realm where all things already exist. So the next time you look around and see nothing happening, remember this. The gardener does not dig up the seed to check its growth. He waters, he waits, he trusts the soil. The inner work is done in stillness. The outer world will catch up, but only if you remain faithful in the silence, only if you continue to ignore the senses and trust the state. The senses are not your masters, they are echoes, and you are the voice that calls them into being. There is a quiet power that moves beneath the surface of all things, a power that does not shout, does not strive, and does not seek validation. It is the power of assumption, not the shallow assumption we speak of in passing, but the deep soul-level certainty that what we desire is already true. This kind of assumption is not based on logic or probability. It is not born from evidence, but from a decision. A quiet internal shift where you choose to become the person who already has what they once hoped for. When this assumption is held faithfully, without interruption or doubt, it begins to work miracles. The outer world cannot resist the pull of a consciousness that has already arrived. To assume something faithfully means to live from the end without compromise. It means waking up every morning not as someone who wishes to be wealthy, loved, or free, but as one who already is. You don't perform a role, you become the role. You don't hope your dream will come, you know it has come, even if the senses haven't yet caught up. And in this knowing there is no tension, no anxiety, no need to force or control. There is only being, only alignment, only the effortless unfolding of what is already claimed in the invisible realm of consciousness. Many people fail to realize the depth of this law. They assume for a moment, a day, perhaps even a week. And then when nothing changes, they abandon the state. They check their bank account, their relationships, their circumstances, and they return to old thoughts, old fears, old identities. What they don't understand is that manifestation is not delayed by the universe. It is interrupted by disbelief. When you hold your assumption only in short bursts, you plant the seed but dig it up each day to check if it has grown. No seed can survive such treatment. Growth requires stillness, warmth, consistency, and so does creation. Your assumption must become your dwelling place, not your weekend getaway. It must be the mental home you live in, not the hotel you visit when you feel hopeful. To assume faithfully is to walk through your current life as if your desire has already unfolded. Not with arrogance, but with inner peace. Not with entitlement, but with deep gratitude. You don't need to shout it from rooftops or convince others to see what you see. You are not trying to prove it, you are living it. You do not chase signs, you embody the sign. The universe responds to the tone you carry within. If your inner speech is aligned, the world becomes an echo of it. If your inner vision is clear, the path appears. If your inner state is unwavering, the outer must bow. This is not wishful thinking. It is creative thinking. It is conscious thinking. It is the sacred practice of identifying with your future self now, so thoroughly and so completely that you become inseparable from the reality you desire. You do not ask when or how, it is already done. You do not worry about evidence, it is irrelevant. You do not depend on timelines, you live outside of them. You take your place in the story knowing that life must catch up, and it always does. Not because you forced it to, but because you faithfully held the state that commanded it to. There is a silence in faithful assumption, a quiet strength that speaks louder than all external action. When you are truly aligned with your vision, you no longer feel the need to convince, argue, or plead. You no longer move from desperation or doubt. You walk in confidence, not because the world has changed, but because you have. The one who assumes with faith becomes untouchable. Not because they are louder than others, but because their inner state is so complete, so anchored, so powerful, that the world reshapes itself in obedience to their inner reality. And here lies the secret that so many overlook. It is not effort that moves mountains, but belief. Not the kind of belief that flickers with emotion, but the kind that stands in silence, unshaken by delay, unmoved by contradiction. That belief is born from repetition, from revisiting the state of the wish fulfilled over and over again until it feels more natural than your current condition, until it becomes more familiar than your fears, until it is no longer something you reach for, it is something you return to. When you assume a thing faithfully, you give it life. You breathe into it with your imagination, you water it with your feelings, you protect it with your focus, and eventually it begins to breathe on its own. It takes shape, it draws people, events, and opportunities into your orbit, not through force but through magnetism. The world begins to reflect your internal shift in ways that seem coincidental, effortless, miraculous. The sky, the earth, and the air. But it is not a miracle, it is law. The world must reflect what you persist in being. This is why the calmest people often manifest the most dramatic transformations. Not because they work the hardest, but because they believe the deepest, because they know that reality bends not to chaos but to clarity. And the clearest signal you can send is the one that says, "It is already mine." Not with tension, not with effort, but with rest, with calm, with peace. The person who can assume faithfully without needing proof has found the key to creation. They no longer react to the world, they instruct it. The moment you return again and again to your assumption, morning, noon, and night, not as a task, but as a joy, as a meditation, as a homecoming, you will begin to see life respond. Not because you have done everything right, but because you have remained loyal to the state. You didn't waver, you didn't beg, you didn't chase. You became. And that more than anything is what brings the invisible into the visible. Not struggle, not control, but faithful assumption. Quiet, steady, certain. It is the most powerful act you can perform. And it requires nothing more than your inner conviction that it is already done. Have you ever paused in a moment of silence and felt as if the world around you was holding its breath, waiting for your next thought, your next word? It's as if the vastness of creation itself stands at attention, listening intently to the whispers of your heart. What if I told you this isn't just an illusion? The truth is, the universe, vast, boundless, and infinite, is always listening, always responding, always creating alongside you. And the question that changes everything is, what are you telling it? From the beginning of time, humanity has sought to understand its place in creation. We've looked to the heavens, prayed in moments of despair, and marveled at the beauty of life's intricate design. But the secret that has eluded so many is that you are not a passive observer in this dance of life. You are a co-creator, divinely gifted with the power to shape your reality. Scripture itself reminds us of this truth. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Yet how often do we allow our thoughts to wander unchecked, pouring out fear, doubt, and negativity into the sacred vessel of creation? Imagine for a moment that every thought you think, every word you speak, is like a seed planted in fertile soil. The soil does not discriminate, it grows whatever is sown. If you plant seeds of gratitude, love, and faith, your garden will flourish with abundance. But if you scatter seeds of anger, worry, and despair, the same soil will nurture those, and you'll find yourself surrounded by the very things you fear. The universe, my friend, is that soil, and it responds with absolute fidelity to the vibrations you emit. This realization is both empowering and humbling. Empowering because it places the pen of your destiny firmly in your hands. Humbling because it reminds us of the immense responsibility we carry in every thought we think, every emotion we feel. Are you mindful of what you're creating? Or are you unwittingly giving life to your fears? But let us go deeper. How does the universe hear us? Is it through spoken prayers, silent meditations, or the unspoken longings of the heart? The answer lies in the energy we radiate. Your emotions, your beliefs, and your unwavering focus create a frequency that the universe cannot ignore. Think of it as a spiritual law, as precise and unyielding as gravity. When you align your inner world with the desires of your heart, the universe begins to conspire in ways you could never imagine, orchestrating events, people, and opportunities to fulfill your vision. Yet many of us live as if the universe is deaf. We cry out in frustration, lamenting that our prayers go unanswered, unaware that our energy is muddled with doubt and contradiction. Have you ever prayed for abundance while secretly fearing lack? Have you hoped for love while harboring feelings of unworthiness? These conflicting signals confuse the very force that seeks to bless you. The universe is not your adversary, it is your greatest ally. But to harness its power, you must first align with its rhythm. Pause now and reflect. What have you been broadcasting to the universe? Is it faith or fear? Hope or hesitation? The divine energy that surrounds us is not selective in its attention. It hears all, responds to all, and mirrors back exactly what you project. If this truth unsettles you, let it also inspire you. Because just as a musician can retune their instrument, you too can retune your thoughts, your feelings, and your focus. The question remains, how do you make the universe work for you? How do you move from a life of struggle and resistance to one of flow and abundance? This is not about manipulating some external force. It is about transforming yourself, becoming the embodiment of the very reality you seek. For when your inner world is in harmony, the outer world has no choice but to follow suit. It begins with awareness, grows with intention, and thrives through faith. But awareness alone is not enough. It must be paired with deliberate action, unwavering belief, and a heart attuned to the voice of the divine. The journey to aligning with the universe is not about doing more, but about being more aware, more present, more aligned with the infinite wisdom that resides within you. Now that you know the universe is always listening, the next step is to learn how to communicate with it effectively. It's time to unlock the secrets of this divine dialogue and discover how to make the universe work for you. Let's delve into the key principles that will transform your relationship with creation and help you manifest the life you were destined to live. Key principles to make the universe work for you. Speak the language of faith, not fear. The first step to unlocking the universe's power is understanding the language it speaks. Faith, not fear, is the key that opens the doors to abundance, joy, and fulfillment. The universe doesn't respond to words alone, it responds to the energy behind those words. When you speak in fear, doubt, or negativity, you broadcast confusion into the divine system designed to bless you. But when you speak with unwavering faith, you align yourself with the boundless possibilities of creation. Faith is more than belief, it is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things unseen. Have you ever noticed how fear speaks louder in your moments of doubt? Fear thrives in uncertainty, whispering lies that paralyze your dreams and crush your spirit. It tells you that you're not enough, that you'll never succeed, and that your past failures define your future. But let me tell you something profound. Fear is a liar. And the only way to silence its voice is to amplify the voice of faith within you. Imagine walking into a room filled with darkness. Your natural instinct might be to curse the darkness, to feel overwhelmed by its presence. But what happens when you light a candle? The darkness cannot argue, cannot resist, it simply disappears. Faith is that light. When you fill your thoughts, your words, and your actions with faith, fear has no choice but to retreat. But how do you speak the language of faith? It starts with your internal dialogue. What do you tell yourself when no one else is listening? Are your words laced with self-doubt, or are they rooted in confidence and hope? Speaking the language of faith means choosing words that uplift, inspire, and affirm the life you want to create. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am equipped to overcome this challenge." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am becoming the person I was meant to be." This language isn't just for yourself, it's for the universe. Every time you declare "I am," you are sending a direct command to the creative forces that surround you. When you say "I am blessed," you invite blessings into your life. When you declare "I am capable," you open the door to opportunities that prove your capability. But if you say "I am unlucky" or "I am doomed," the universe will reflect that back to you as well. Speaking the language of faith requires practice. You must train your mind to focus on what is possible, not what is impossible. Think of a musician learning to play a new instrument. At first, the notes might be clumsy and out of tune. But with persistence, the melody becomes smooth, beautiful, and harmonious. Your words are the notes, and faith is the melody that resonates with the universe. Faith also requires patience. There will be moments when your declarations seem to fall on deaf ears, when your prayers feel unanswered. But faith isn't about instant gratification, it's about trusting the process. The universe works on divine timing, not human schedules. Even when the evidence of your faith isn't visible, hold steadfast. Speak as though the miracle has already happened, and you will see doors open that you never knew existed. Ask yourself today, are you speaking the language of faith, or are you letting fear dictate your words? Let this be your turning point. Begin now to fill your life with affirmations that align with your highest potential. Speak boldly, confidently, and with the assurance that the universe is not only listening but ready to respond. Visualize the reality you desire. The second principle is visualization, a powerful tool to communicate your desires to the universe. What you see in your mind becomes the blueprint for your life. The question is, are you creating a masterpiece or a maze of missed opportunities? Visualization is not just wishful thinking. It is the art of seeing the end from the beginning and feeling it as though it's already yours. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your ideal life. Picture the house you dream of living in, the relationships that bring you joy, the success that fulfills your purpose. Can you see it clearly? Now go a step further, feel it. Feel the warmth of that home, the laughter shared with loved ones, the pride of achieving your goals. This isn't just daydreaming, this is you sending a clear, vivid message to the universe about what you desire. But visualization is more than creating mental images, it's about aligning your emotions with those images. If you imagine success but feel doubt or fear, you're sending mixed signals. The universe responds to clarity and conviction. When you visualize, allow yourself to feel the gratitude, excitement, and peace that come with your desires being fulfilled. Let those emotions flood your being as if what you want is already yours. Think of visualization as planting a seed. You wouldn't plant a seed and then dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process, watering it, nurturing it, and giving it sunlight. Similarly, once you visualize your desire, trust that the universe is working to bring it to fruition. Doubt is like digging up the seed, while faith and focused visualization are like the sunlight that helps it grow. One of the most powerful ways to visualize is through repetition. Take time each day to close your eyes and immerse yourself in the life you're creating. Create a vision board. Write your desires in a journal. Or simply sit in stillness and let your imagination run free. The more vividly and consistently you visualize, the stronger the message you send to the universe. However, visualization requires discipline. It's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what you don't want instead of what you do. If you constantly imagine worst-case scenarios, you're inadvertently creating a reality you don't desire. Train your mind to focus on the best possible outcomes and watch as your reality begins to shift. The beauty of visualization is that it activates not only the universe but also your subconscious mind. Your mind starts to look for opportunities, resources, and solutions that align with your vision. It's as if the universe and your own mind join forces, working tirelessly to make your dreams a reality. As you visualize, remember that the universe is limitless. Don't hold back or settle for less than your heart's true desires. Dream big and visualize even bigger. The only limits are the ones you place on yourself. What do you see when you close your eyes? More importantly, what do you feel? Let your vision be bold, your emotions unwavering, and your faith unshakable. The universe is watching, waiting, and ready to respond to the reality you dare to create. Align your emotions with your intentions. The third principle is aligning your emotions with your intentions. This is where many people stumble. They set clear goals, visualize their desires, and speak words of faith. Yet they carry emotions of doubt, fear, or resentment. The universe responds not just to your thoughts, but to the energy and emotions behind them. If your emotions contradict your intentions, it's like trying to drive a car with the parking brake on. You won't get far. Have you ever desired something deeply yet felt uneasy about it? Maybe you dreamed of success but feared failure. Perhaps you longed for love but felt unworthy of it. These conflicting emotions send mixed signals to the universe. It's like tuning into two radio stations at once: chaos, static, and confusion. The universe cannot deliver what you truly desire unless your emotions are in harmony with your intentions. Lining your emotions begins with self-awareness. Take a moment to examine how you truly feel about your desires. Are you excited and expectant, or are you anxious and doubtful? Be honest with yourself. Your emotions are like the wind guiding the sails of your life. If the wind is chaotic, your journey will be turbulent. But if it's steady and purposeful, you'll move smoothly toward your destination. One powerful way to align your emotions is through gratitude. Gratitude is the highest vibration you can emit, and it tells the universe that you are ready to receive more. When you are grateful for what you already have, you create space for more blessings to flow into your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from worry to peace. Take a moment each day to feel deep, genuine gratitude for the things you already possess and for the desires you are manifesting. Another tool is visualization with emotional engagement. When you visualize your dreams, don't just see them, feel them. If you desire financial abundance, feel the relief of financial security, the joy of giving freely, and the pride of achieving your goals. If you long for love, feel the warmth of connection, the happiness of shared moments, and the peace of unconditional acceptance. Let these emotions flood your being, as if your desires are already a reality. It's also crucial to release negative emotions. Anger, resentment, and fear are heavy energies that block your blessings. Imagine trying to fill a cup that's already full of murky water. You must first pour it out to make room for something better. Forgive those who have wronged you. Release fears about the future and let go of the pain of the past. The act of letting go is not for their benefit, it's for yours. It's about creating emotional space for the things you truly want. To align your emotions with your intentions, practice mindfulness. Throughout your day, check in with yourself. How are you feeling? Are your emotions supporting your goals, or are they pulling you in the opposite direction? If you notice negative emotions, don't suppress them. Acknowledge them, understand their source, and consciously choose to shift your focus. Emotions are like waves. They rise and fall. The key is not to let the negative ones carry you away. Remember, your emotions are a form of communication with the universe. They are the energy behind your intentions. When your emotions are in harmony with your desires, you become a magnet for the life you want. The universe feels your joy, your gratitude, and your confidence, and it mirrors those emotions back to you in the form of blessing. Cultivate gratitude daily. Gratitude is the secret ingredient that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. It is more than a polite thank you. It is a profound state of being that shifts your perspective, opens your heart, and connects you to the divine. Gratitude is not just something you feel when everything is going well. It is a choice, a discipline, and a way of life. The universe loves gratitude because it vibrates at the highest frequency of abundance, love, and joy. Well, think about the last time you felt truly grateful. Maybe it was for a kind word, an unexpected blessing, or a moment of peace. What did that gratitude feel like? Did it make you smile, lift your spirits, or bring tears to your eyes? Now imagine living in that state of gratitude every day. When you cultivate gratitude, you align yourself with the universe's flow of goodness, making it easier for blessings to find their way to you. Gratitude is powerful because it focuses your attention on what you have, not what you lack. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. When you say, "I'm grateful for my home, my health, my opportunities," you affirm that life is already full of blessings. This doesn't mean you ignore your desires or stop striving for more. Instead, it means you acknowledge the richness of the present moment while trusting that more is on the way. One of the best ways to cultivate gratitude is by starting a daily gratitude practice. Every morning or evening, take a few moments to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be grand or life-changing. Sometimes it's the small things that matter most. The warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, or the comfort of a favorite chair. Write them down, say them out loud, or simply feel them in your heart. The act of expressing gratitude magnifies its power. Another practice is to express gratitude for your desires as if they have already come true. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself, it's about trusting the universe's timing. Instead of saying, "I hope I get the job," say, "I'm grateful for the amazing opportunities that are coming my way." Instead of saying, "I wish I could find love," this shifts your energy from wanting to receiving, from doubt to faith. Gratitude also has the power to transform challenges into opportunities. When you face difficulties, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Thank the experience for the wisdom, strength, or resilience it brings. This doesn't mean you have to be grateful for pain or injustice, but you can be grateful for the growth that comes from overcoming them. Gratitude turns every obstacle into a stepping stone, every loss into a lesson. The more you practice gratitude, the more it becomes a natural part of your life. You start to notice blessings you once took for granted. You begin to see beauty in the ordinary and miracles in the mundane. Gratitude becomes your lens, and through it, the world looks brighter, kinder, and more abundant. Ask yourself, what are you grateful for right now? Take a moment to feel that gratitude deeply. Let it fill your heart and overflow into every part of your life. When you cultivate gratitude daily, you align yourself with the universe's highest vibration, and in that alignment, miracles happen. Let go of resistance and doubt. One of the most significant barriers to manifesting the life you desire is resistance. Resistance can take many forms: doubt, fear, control, or the inability to trust the process. To let the universe work for you, you must release these barriers and allow its energy to flow freely into your life. Resistance is like trying to paddle upstream against a powerful current. It exhausts you, frustrates you, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of struggle. Letting go, on the other hand, is like dropping the oars and trusting the current to carry you to your destination. But what does resistance really look like? It often shows up as doubt. You visualize your dreams, you speak words of faith, but deep down there's a voice whispering, "What if it doesn't happen?" That voice may be quiet, but its presence is enough to disrupt the flow of energy between you and the universe. Doubt weakens your signal. It sends a mixed message. One moment you're declaring your desires, and the next you're questioning whether they're even possible. Letting go of doubt requires a shift in mindset. You must understand that the universe operates on laws that are unshakable and precise. Just as you don't question whether the sun will rise tomorrow, you must stop questioning whether the universe will respond to your intentions. It will. Your job is to align yourself with its rhythm and trust it. Resistance also takes the form of control. Have you ever found yourself obsessing over how and when your desires will come to fruition? You plan every detail, micromanage every step, and grow frustrated when things don't go according to your timeline. This need for control creates tension. It tells the universe, "I don't trust you to handle this." But the truth is, the universe doesn't need your instructions. It needs your surrender. Surrender is not about giving up. It's about letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting that the universe has a plan far greater than yours. Another form of resistance is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and even fear of success can keep you from fully embracing your desires. Fear is a heavy energy that blocks the flow of blessings. It convinces you to play small, stay safe, and settle for less than you deserve. But the universe does not respond to fear. It responds to courage. Letting go of fear means stepping into the unknown with faith, knowing that the universe will catch you when you leap. Letting go is not easy. It requires vulnerability, patience, and an unwavering belief that what is meant for you will find its way to you. Start by identifying the areas where you feel the most resistance. Is it in trusting the timing of your desires? Is it in believing you're worthy of them? Is it in releasing control? Once you've identified these areas, make a conscious decision to let go. Say to yourself, "I release this resistance. I trust the process. I believe in the goodness of the universe." One way to let go is through the practice of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about your desires. It means you stop obsessing over them. You hold your dreams lightly, knowing they are on their way, but you don't cling to them with desperation. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you grip it too tightly, you harm it. But if you hold it gently, it rests safely, trusting you. Meditation is another powerful tool for releasing resistance. When you meditate, you quiet the noise of doubt and fear, creating space for the universe to communicate with you. In moments of stillness, you can feel the presence of divine energy, reminding you that you are never alone. As you meditate, visualize yourself letting go of resistance, like a balloon drifting into the sky. Feel the weight lifting, the tension dissolving, and the flow of energy returning. Gratitude also plays a vital role in releasing resistance. When you focus on what you already have, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. Gratitude is the antidote to fear, doubt, and control. It reminds you that the universe has already blessed you and will continue to do so. Each time you feel resistance creeping in, pause and list 3 things you are grateful for. This simple act can transform your energy in an instant. Letting go doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you take inspired action without attachment to the outcome. You do your part and trust the universe to handle the rest. Think of a farmer planting seeds. He tends to the soil, waters the crops, and removes the weeds. But he doesn't sit in the field worrying about whether the sun will shine or the rain will fall. He trusts that nature will do its part. End of section 16. End of section 16. The knowledge of the law is impermanence again. In the same way, you must trust the universe to fulfill its role. But remember, resistance is not your natural state. You were created to flow with the rhythm of life, to live in harmony with the universe. When you let go of resistance, you return to that natural state. You open yourself to the infinite possibilities that surround you. You become a vessel for divine energy, allowing it to work through you and for you. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I need to release? Is it doubt, fear, the need for control? Whatever it is, take a deep breath and let it go. Trust that the universe is always working in your favor, even when you can't see it. When you let go of resistance, you make space for miracles. You align yourself with the flow of abundance, and the universe responds with blessings beyond your imagination. Let go and watch your life transform. Take inspired action. The universe is always ready to conspire in your favor, but it needs a signal from you, a demonstration that you are serious about your desires. That signal is action, but not just any action, inspired action. Inspired action is different from mindless busyness or forced effort. It is action that feels aligned, purposeful, and guided by a higher energy. It is the bridge between the dreams in your heart and the reality you are destined to create. Many people fall into the trap of waiting. They visualize their desires, speak words of faith, and cultivate gratitude, but they sit idle, expecting everything to fall into their lap. While the universe works in miraculous ways, it also requires your participation. You are a co-creator, and your willingness to take inspired action is what activates the divine process. But how do you recognize inspired action? It often starts with a nudge, a quiet idea, a sudden thought, or a burst of clarity that feels undeniably right. It could be a call to reach out to someone, an urge to pursue a new opportunity, or a feeling that it's time to take a bold leap of faith. These nudges are not random. They are the universe guiding you toward your desires. Pay attention to them. Trust them. Taking inspired action doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out. In fact, inspired action often involves stepping into the unknown. It requires courage to take the first step, even when you can't see the entire path. But remember this, the universe will not reveal the entire staircase until you take the first step. Each action you take builds momentum, and with each step, the path becomes clearer. There is a profound power in simply starting. Action creates energy, and energy attracts more energy. Have you ever noticed how opportunities seem to multiply when you start pursuing something with passion? This is the universe responding to your initiative. It's as if you've sent out a signal that says, "I'm ready," and the universe answers, "Here's more." However, inspired action requires faith. There will be moments when your actions don't yield immediate results, and doubt will try to creep in. You might question whether you're on the right path or whether the universe is really listening. But taking inspired action is not about immediate gratification. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of the universe. Trust that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your desires. One of the keys to inspired action is following your intuition. Your intuition is the voice of your higher self, the part of you that is deeply connected to the divine. It knows the way, even when your logical mind does not. Learn to trust your gut feelings, even when they don't seem to make sense. If you feel a strong pull to do something, honor that feeling. The universe often works through whispers, not shouts, and it is your intuition that hears them first. Another important aspect of inspired action is persistence. The path to your desires may not always be smooth. You may encounter obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But persistence is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who don't. When you take action with unwavering determination, you send a powerful message to the universe. I am committed, and the universe rewards commitment. Taking inspired action also means letting go of perfectionism. Many people hesitate to act because they're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions. But perfectionism is a form of resistance. The perfect time is now. The perfect plan is the one you're willing to start with. The universe doesn't require perfection, it requires movement. Sometimes inspired action is not about doing more, but about being more. It's about embodying the energy of your desires. For example, if you desire love, practice being loving. If you desire abundance, practice feeling abundant. Your actions are an extension of your energy, and when your energy aligns with your desires, your actions become a natural expression of that alignment. Inspired action also involves taking risks. Growth often lies on the other side of fear, and the universe rewards those who are willing to step out of their comfort zones. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to do that I know deep down is necessary? The answer to that question will often point you toward the inspired action you need to take. Remember, the greatest rewards often come from the greatest risks. Finally, taking inspired action is a form of surrender. It is not about forcing outcomes or trying to control every detail. It is about doing your part with faith and leaving the rest to the universe. Trust that the actions you take, no matter how small, are part of a larger divine plan. You may not see the results immediately, but every step is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. What inspired action can you take today? Maybe it's making that phone call, writing that application, or starting that project you've been putting off. Maybe it's as simple as stepping outside and declaring to the universe, I am ready. Whatever it is, take that step. Trust the nudge. Follow the pull. The universe is watching, waiting, and ready to meet you halfway. It's not about how much you do, it's about doing the right things with the right energy. When you take inspired action, you align yourself with the flow of creation. You become a vessel through which the universe works, and your life transforms in ways you never imagined. Take the step and let the magic unfold. Trust the divine timing of creation. Trusting the divine timing of creation is one of the most challenging yet liberating principles to master. In a world that values instant results and quick gratification, waiting on the universe can feel like an impossible task. Yet the truth remains, everything happens at the perfect time, in the perfect way, and for the perfect reason. Trusting divine timing is not about passively waiting. It's about actively believing that the universe's timeline is better than yours. Think of the seasons. You cannot rush the arrival of spring, no matter how much you long for the warmth and renewal it brings. The snow must melt, the soil must thaw, and the seeds must germinate underground before they sprout into life. Similarly, your desires are like seeds planted in the garden of the universe. They need time to take root, grow, and bear fruit. Rushing the process will only lead to frustration and disappointment. Trusting divine timing requires faith. Faith that the universe knows the path better than you do. Have you ever looked back on a time in your life when something you wanted didn't happen when you expected, but later realized it worked out for the best? Perhaps a job opportunity fell through, only for a better one to appear. Or a relationship ended, paving the way for a deeper and more meaningful connection. In hindsight, it's easier to see the wisdom of divine timing, but in the moment, it takes courage to trust. Impatience is the greatest enemy of divine timing. It stems from a lack of trust and a fear that what you desire will never come. But impatience only creates resistance, slowing down the very process you wish to accelerate. When you feel impatient, pause and remind yourself that the universe is never late. It is always working, orchestrating circumstances, aligning opportunities, and preparing the way for your blessings to arrive. Your role is not to control the timing, but to prepare yourself to receive. One way to build trust in divine timing is to focus on the present moment. When you constantly fixate on the future, you miss the beauty and blessings of the here and now. The present moment is where life unfolds, where lessons are learned, and where growth occurs. Ask yourself, what is the universe teaching me in this season of waiting? Perhaps it's patience, resilience, or the value of gratitude. Embrace the lessons, knowing they are shaping you into the person who will fully appreciate the blessings when they arrive. Trusting divine timing also requires surrender. Surrender is not about giving up, it's about letting go of the need to control every detail. It's about saying, I trust that what's meant for me will never miss me, and what misses me was never meant for me. This mindset allows you to release anxiety and find peace, even in the waiting. Surrender is an act of faith, a declaration that you believe in the goodness of the universe. Sometimes divine timing involves delays or detours that feel like setbacks. But these are not roadblocks, they are redirections. Imagine driving on a highway and encountering a detour. At first you might feel frustrated, but as you follow the new route, you discover breathtaking views or hidden treasures you would have otherwise missed. The universe's delays are often its way of guiding you to something even greater than what you imagine. It's important to remember that the universe's timing is not random. It operates according to a higher wisdom that sees the bigger picture. While you may only see one piece of the puzzle, the universe sees how all the pieces fit together. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Your job is to remain patient, persistent, and faithful. G. Another way to trust divine timing is to stay open to possibilities. Sometimes we become so fixated on one outcome that we block the flow of the universe's creativity. Be flexible. The universe often delivers blessings in ways that are unexpected and even better than what you had envisioned. If you keep your heart and mind open, you allow the universe to surprise you with its infinite abundance. As you may take in the greatest abundance that ever could be found in the world we want to be in. While you wait on divine timing, continue to take inspired action. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing, it means doing what you can with what you have while trusting the universe to handle the rest. Think of it as preparing the soil while the seed grows beneath the surface. Water your dreams with faith, nurture them with love, and protect them from the weeds of doubt. Your actions signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Gratitude is another powerful tool for trusting divine timing. When you express gratitude for what you already have, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. Gratitude reminds you that the universe has already blessed you and will continue to do so. Each time you feel anxious about the timing of your desires, pause and list 3 things you are grateful for. This simple practice will ground you in the present moment and strengthen your faith. Finally, trust that divine timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with your plans. The universe is never in a hurry, yet it is always on time. When you trust this truth, you free yourself from the burden of worry and open your heart to the flow of miracles. Ask yourself, can you trust the process even when the results are not yet visible? Can you believe that the universe is working for you even when you can't see it? Trusting divine timing is not easy, but it is essential. It is the key to peace, joy, and fulfillment. Let go of the need to rush, surrender to the flow, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The universe is never late, and neither are you. As we reach the end of this journey together, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound truth we've explored. The universe is always listening. It hears your thoughts, feels your emotions, and responds to your actions with a precision that is both divine and undeniable. The keys to unlocking its infinite potential lie within you. In the language of faith you speak, the visions you hold, the emotions you align, and the actions you take. Every principle we've uncovered today is a thread in the tapestry of creation. When woven together, they create a life that is not only abundant but also deeply aligned with your purpose. The universe does not operate in isolation. It operates in partnership with you. It stands ready to conspire in your favor, waiting only for your willingness to believe, act, and trust. Perhaps, but this journey is not without its challenges. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and impatience. You will be tempted to question whether the universe is truly working for you. In those moments, remember this: faith is not about seeing the entire path. It is about taking the next step with courage. Trust is not about understanding every detail. It is about surrendering to a process greater than yourself. As you step forward from this moment, I encourage you to live with intention. Speak words that empower, visualize dreams that inspire, and take actions that align with your highest self. Embrace gratitude for the blessings already present in your life and trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. Let go of resistance, release the need to control, and open your heart to the flow of divine timing. The universe is always listening. It hears your whispers, your prayers, and even the silent longings of your soul. It is not indifferent, it is infinitely compassionate, always working to bring you closer to the life you were born to live. But it begins with you. What will you say to the universe today? What will you believe about yourself and your potential? What inspired action will you take to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be? As you walk this path, know that you are not alone. The universe is your greatest ally, your steadfast supporter, and your co-creator in this magnificent journey of life. Trust it, believe in its power, and believe in your own. Go forth with faith, with purpose, and with the unwavering belief that the universe is not only listening, but waiting to bless you in ways beyond your imagination. The life you desire is not a distant dream. It is a reality waiting to be claimed. Have you ever paused to consider the extraordinary power that lies within you, the ability to transform your reality, shape your destiny, and bring into existence not just one, but countless blessings at the same time? Imagine a life where your deepest desires are not fleeting dreams, but tangible realities, manifested through a divine partnership between your faith, imagination, and the unseen forces of the universe. What if you could manifest multiple things at once and watch your life align perfectly, as though the heavens themselves conspired for your success? There is a profound truth hidden in plain sight. You are created in the image of the divine creator. This means that within you resides the same creative essence that brought forth the stars, the mountains, and the oceans. If the creator can design the intricate balance of the cosmos, is it not possible for you, made in his likeness, to orchestrate the harmony of your desires? But here is the challenge. Most of us do not fully believe in the authority we've been given. We live as though we are at the mercy of circumstances, forgetting that we have the power to command our circumstances to align with our vision. Take a moment to reflect. How often have you limited yourself to manifesting one thing at a time, thinking it was all you could handle? Why do we believe in scarcity when we serve a limitless God? This misconception is not a reflection of the Creator's intention, but of our own inability to trust the process and embrace the vastness of our potential. The universe does not operate in fragments. It operates in abundance, and so should you. The key lies in understanding the spiritual principle of alignment. You are not merely wishing for things to happen. You are stepping into the reality where they already exist. The scriptures tell us, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Notice the subtle yet profound instruction. Believe that you have received it, not that you will receive it, but that you already have. This is not a suggestion, it is a divine law. The moment you align your belief with the reality you desire, you activate the forces necessary to bring it forth. But how does one manifest multiple things at once? The secret lies in your ability to focus your mind, not on the how, but on the knowing. Think of it like a symphony. Each desire is an instrument, and your belief is the conductor. When you focus on the harmony rather than each individual note, the music flows effortlessly. You don't need to micromanage the process. You only need to trust that the orchestra will play as intended. Let me ask you this. What if your life right now is a reflection of the things you've been unwittingly manifesting through doubt, fear, and lack of clarity? Could it be that the chaos you see is simply a mirror of your scattered thoughts? The good news is, just as a painter can change their masterpiece with a new brush stroke, you have the power to redirect your thoughts and create something magnificent. Your mind is the brush, and your faith is the canvas. What will you choose to paint today? The journey of manifestation requires faith, discipline, and unwavering focus. It's not just about wanting something, it's about living as though it's already yours. When you walk in this state of assurance, the universe cannot help but respond. Imagine standing in a garden planting seeds for an orchard. You don't plant just one tree, you plant many, knowing that each will bear its fruit in due season. This is how you must approach your desires. Plant them with intention, water them with faith, and trust the divine gardener to bring them to fruition. But here's the pivotal question. Are you ready to step into this realm of limitless possibilities? Are you willing to let go of the fears and doubts that have kept you tethered to a life of mediocrity? If the answer is yes, then it's time to learn the principles that will guide you to manifesting multiple things at once. The process is not as complicated as you might think, but it does require you to commit fully to the vision of the life you desire. When you set out to manifest multiple things at once, the first and most essential step is clarity. Imagine walking into a vast storehouse filled with infinite treasures. But when asked what you want, you hesitate, unsure of your choice. How then can you expect to receive what you desire if you have not clearly identified it? Clarity is not just a starting point. It is the foundation of manifesting. Without it, your thoughts are like a ship adrift at sea, moving in no particular direction. Let's consider why clarity is so vital. Your mind operates like a magnet, drawing toward you the energy you emit. If your desires are vague or conflicted, you send out mixed signals. The result? A life filled with confusion, distractions, and opportunities that don't align with your true purpose. This is why so many people feel stuck. They haven't taken the time to sit down and define what they truly want. It's not enough to say, I want success or I want happiness. You must go deeper. What does success look like to you? Is it financial freedom, fulfilling relationships, or the ability to pursue your passions? What brings you happiness? Is it peace of mind, travel, or contributing to a cause greater than yourself? The process of clarifying your desires begins with self-reflection. Take a moment to quiet your mind and ask yourself, what do I really want? Write it down, be specific. If you desire financial abundance, write the exact amount you wish to earn or the kind of lifestyle you want to live. If you desire a healthy body, envision yourself at your ideal weight, feeling energetic and vibrant. The more detailed your vision, the easier it becomes for your mind to focus on bringing it to reality. Think of clarity as a map. Without it, you wander aimlessly. With it, you have a clear path to your destination. But clarity is more than just defining your desires. It is about understanding your why. Why do you want what you're asking for? Your motivations must come from a place of genuine intention. Desires rooted in envy, competition, or a need to prove something to others are often shallow and short-lived. Instead, anchor your desires in love, purpose, and the higher calling of your soul. The state of being connected to the highest part of your self-awareness and consciousness relies on a constant. For example, if you desire wealth, let your motivation be the freedom to support your family, give back to your community, or fund a cause close to your heart. When your why is strong, it fuels your faith and keeps you focused even when the journey gets challenging. Another critical aspect of clarity is prioritization. When manifesting multiple things at once, you must determine what matters most. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer number of things you want, but not all desires hold the same weight. Ask yourself, what will bring me the greatest sense of fulfillment right now? Start with the desires that align most closely with your core values and long-term vision. This doesn't mean neglecting other goals. It simply means focusing your energy on what will create the greatest impact in your life. Finally, remember that clarity requires commitment. You cannot waver between wanting and doubting, between believing and hesitating. Once you have defined your desires, hold them in your mind as though they are already yours. Let your thoughts, words, and actions reflect this unwavering belief. Speak as though your desires have already manifested. Act as though you are already living your vision. This level of clarity transforms your desires from mere wishes into powerful declarations that the universe cannot ignore. Evaluation is not a passive daydream, it is an active engagement with the reality you wish to create. Your mind, when properly focused, becomes a divine architect designing the life you desire. To manifest multiple things at once, you must see each desire as already accomplished. This is not about pretending or hoping, it is about stepping into the feeling of what it's like to live in the fulfillment of your dreams. When you visualize, you bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen, pulling your desires from the realm of possibilities into tangible existence. Think about how the mind works when it visualizes. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you repeatedly see yourself achieving your goals, your subconscious begins to accept that vision as truth. This triggers a shift in your beliefs, behaviors, and even your circumstances to align with the reality you've envisioned. It's as though you are rewiring your inner world to reflect the outer world you wish to create. When visualizing, specificity is key. Imagine yourself not just having what you desire, but living in it. For instance, if you want to manifest a dream home, don't just picture the house. Walk through it in your mind. See the sunlight streaming through the windows. Feel the texture of the walls. Hear the laughter of loved ones filling the space. Engage all your senses. If financial abundance is your goal, imagine checking your bank account and seeing the exact balance you desire. Feel the excitement of being debt-free and the freedom to spend without worry. Visualization is not just about seeing, it's about experiencing. Seeing and experiencing, every concept is full of possibility. To enhance your visualization practice, create a consistent routine. Spend a few minutes each day in a quiet space where you can focus without distractions. Close your eyes and let your mind paint a vivid picture of your desires. But here's the secret. Don't just see the end result. Feel it. Emotions are the fuel of manifestation. Feel the joy, gratitude, and peace that come with living your dream. The stronger the emotion, the more powerful the manifestation. Another important element is repetition. The more you visualize, the stronger the impression becomes in your subconscious mind. Think of it as planting seeds. Each visualization session waters those seeds, allowing them to grow. Over time, your desires take root and begin to manifest in ways you could never have imagined. Visualization also creates alignment. When your mind is filled with images of success, your actions naturally follow. You begin to make choices that support your vision, whether consciously or unconsciously. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open, and opportunities that align with your desires start to appear. This is not coincidence. It is the result of aligning your inner and outer worlds. Visualize with gratitude. Imagine yourself not just receiving but already living your desires, and give thanks for them as though they are already yours. Gratitude amplifies the energy of manifestation, creating a magnetic pull that draws your desires closer to you. When you visualize with gratitude, you send a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Your ability to visualize is the key to manifesting multiple things at once. It allows you to hold the vision of each desire simultaneously, creating a harmonious symphony of intentions that the universe cannot resist. Now step into the theater of your mind and begin creating the life you were always meant to live. Gratitude is not merely an act of politeness. It is a profound spiritual principle that unlocks the doors to abundance. When you cultivate gratitude, you align your heart and mind with the higher frequencies of the universe, creating a magnetic pull for everything you desire. Gratitude is the acknowledgement that you already possess the keys to everything you seek. It transforms your perspective from one of lack to one of abundance, creating fertile ground for manifestation. Consider this. Have you ever noticed how gratitude changes the atmosphere of your thoughts? When you focus on what you are thankful for, even in the smallest moments, a shift occurs. Your energy becomes lighter, your outlook brighter, and your faith stronger. This shift is not incidental, it is the divine principle at work. Gratitude opens the pathway for blessings to flow because it declares that you are ready to receive. It tells the universe, I see the good in my life and I am prepared for more. Gratitude is most powerful when expressed not just for what you have but for what is yet to come. This is a critical aspect of manifesting multiple things at once. By giving thanks for your desires as though they are already fulfilled, you signal unwavering faith in their manifestation. For example, instead of saying, I hope I get this job, say, thank you for blessing me with a career that aligns with my purpose. Feel the gratitude as deeply as you would if it were already yours. This is not mere wishful thinking, it is a declaration of faith that moves mountains. But gratitude must be cultivated intentionally. Begin by making it a daily practice. Each morning, take a few moments to reflect on the blessings in your life. Write them down if you must. Be specific. Thank God for the air you breathe, the people who support you, the opportunities that await you, and the lessons you've learned along the way. When you make gratitude a habit, it rewires your mind to focus on the positive, which amplifies your ability to manifest. Gratitude also acts as a shield against doubt and negativity. When you immerse yourself in thankfulness, there is no room for fear or worry. You cannot simultaneously feel gratitude and lack. If you ever find yourself questioning whether your desires will come to pass, immediately redirect your thoughts to gratitude. Thank God for the process, even if the results are not yet visible. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Gratitude creates a ripple effect. When you express thankfulness, you inspire others to do the same. This collective energy elevates not just your vibration, but the vibrations of those around you. It's like a light that spreads, illuminating everything it touches. And as your energy shifts, so does the energy of your circumstances. Doors that seemed closed begin to open, and the impossible becomes possible. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps you steady during the manifestation process. It reminds you that even when the journey feels uncertain, you are supported by a higher power. It turns your focus away from what you lack and toward what you already have, paving the way for more blessings to flow. With gratitude in your heart, you position yourself to receive the life you've envisioned. Alignment is the harmony between your thoughts, words, and actions. It is the state of being where every aspect of your life reflects your intentions and desires. Manifesting multiple things at once is not about chaotic multitasking. It's about creating a symphony of alignment that brings your desires into being. Without alignment, your efforts are scattered and your results are inconsistent. But with alignment, every thought and action moves you closer to your goals. Alignment begins with your thoughts. The mind is the birthplace of every creation. What you focus on, you attract. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or confusion, you will attract circumstances that reflect those energies. But when your mind is focused on faith, clarity, and abundance, the universe responds in kind. Ask yourself, are my thoughts aligned with the life I will create? If the answer is no, begin by consciously redirecting your thoughts to align with your desires. Speak affirmations, meditate on your goals, and visualize your success. These practices keep your mind centered on what truly matters. Words are another critical component of alignment. Every word you speak carries energy. When you declare something out loud, you send a signal to the universe about what you believe. Speak words that affirm your vision, not words that contradict it. For example, instead of saying, "I can't afford that," say, "I am attracting the resources I need." Instead of lamenting over setbacks, declare, "This is a stepping stone to my success." Your words are powerful. Use them to build the life you want. Actions are the final piece of the puzzle. Manifestation is not a passive process. While thoughts and words set the foundation, actions solidify the structure. If you desire financial freedom, are your daily habits aligned with that goal? If you want better health, are your choices reflecting that desire? Alignment requires consistency between what you say you want and what you do. Even small actions, when aligned with your vision, can create profound results. But alignment goes beyond the individual components of thoughts, words, and actions. It's about the cohesion between them. Imagine trying to drive a car with the wheels misaligned. No matter how much you accelerate, the ride will be rough, and you'll struggle to reach your destination. The same is true of your life. When your thoughts are positive but your actions contradict them, or when your words declare faith but your mind harbors doubt, you create resistance. True alignment eliminates this resistance, allowing your desires to flow naturally toward you. Another key aspect of alignment is intuition. Pay attention to the quiet nudges and inner promptings that guide you. These are not random, they are divine signals leading you toward your manifestation. Trust these instincts, even if they don't always make logical sense. When you follow your intuition, you align yourself with the greater plan for your life. Alignment requires consistency. It's not something you do once and forget. It's a daily practice of ensuring that your thoughts, words, and actions remain in harmony with your desires. This consistency builds momentum, and over time it creates a powerful force that draws your manifestations into reality. When you focus on alignment, you create a seamless flow between your intentions and your reality. Every aspect of your being works together toward a common goal, making it not only possible but inevitable for you to manifest multiple things at once. Alignment is the bridge that connects your vision to your reality. Walk across it with confidence. One of the most common obstacles in manifestation is the tendency to obsess over how your desires will come to pass. It's natural to want to know the steps, the timeline, and the mechanics of how everything will align. But the truth is, the how is not your responsibility. Your role in the process of manifestation is to believe, to focus on the vision, and to act in alignment with your desires. The how belongs to the divine intelligence that governs the universe, working behind the scenes in ways you cannot comprehend. Releasing the how is not about giving up control, it's about trusting a higher power. Imagine you are planting a garden. You choose the seeds, prepare the soil, and water the ground. But do you stand over the garden every second, demanding to know how the seeds are sprouting beneath the surface? No, you trust that nature is doing its work, even when you cannot see it. The same principle applies to manifestation. You plant the seeds of your desires with faith and action, and you trust that the universe will handle the growth. When you hold on to the how, you create resistance. You may think you're helping the process by analyzing every possible outcome, but in reality, you are sending mixed signals. Doubt creeps in when you try to force a specific outcome or timeline. What if it doesn't happen the way you envision? What if there's a better path you haven't considered? By insisting on controlling the how, you limit the infinite possibilities available to you. The universe is not bound by your imagination. It is boundless, capable of delivering your desires in ways far beyond your expectations. To release the how, start by focusing on the end result rather than the journey. When you visualize your desires, see them as already accomplished. Feel the emotions of success, joy, and gratitude that come with achieving your goals. This focus shifts your energy from worry to faith, creating an open channel for manifestation. Remember, the universe works through people, opportunities, and circumstances you may never anticipate. Your job is to be ready to receive, no matter the form it takes. Another way to let go of the how is to surrender control. Surrender is not weakness, it is strength. It is the acknowledgement that there is a greater wisdom at work orchestrating your life in perfect harmony. When you surrender, you release the need to micromanage every detail. This doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you act with confidence, trusting that each step is guided by divine timing. Surrendering is an act of faith, a declaration that you trust the process even when you can't see the entire plan. Releasing the how also requires you to silence the inner critic. That voice in your head that asks, what if it doesn't happen? What if I fail? Is the same voice that keeps you stuck. Counter it with affirmations of trust and faith. Remind yourself that the universe has never failed to uphold its laws. Just as gravity ensures the sun rises and sets each day, the law of manifestation ensures that your desires, when aligned with faith and action, will come to fruition. Doubt has no place in a mind focused on trust. An important aspect of letting go is embracing the unexpected. Often the path to manifestation is not a straight line, but a winding road filled with twists and turns. Sometimes what appears to be a detour is actually a shortcut. Trust that even the challenges you face are part of the process. They are refining you, preparing you to receive your desires in their fullest form. When you encounter obstacles, don't see them as signs of failure. See them as opportunities to strengthen your faith and deepen your trust. Practice patience. Manifestation is not always instantaneous. Just as seeds take time to grow, your desires take time to align with the right circumstances. Patience is not about waiting idly, it's about maintaining faith and taking inspired action while trusting the timing of the universe. Impatience only creates frustration, which blocks the flow of manifestation. Trust that what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. When you release the how, you free yourself from the burden of control. You allow the universe to work in ways that are beyond your imagination. This trust creates a powerful momentum, drawing your desires closer to you with effortless grace. The how is not your concern. Focus on your vision, trust the process, and watch as the universe weaves together the perfect plan to bring your dreams to life. Let go of the how, and let the infinite wisdom of creation take over. Faith is the cornerstone of manifestation. Without it, the foundation of your desires crumbles under the weight of doubt and fear. Persistence in faith is not a passive state of hoping for the best. It is an active, unwavering conviction that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable. To manifest multiple things at once, this steadfast belief must permeate every thought, word, and action. Faith transforms your desires from abstract dreams into tangible realities. Faith begins in the mind but is nurtured through consistent action. Consider a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. Instead, he waters them, tends to the soil, and trusts the process. Similarly, when you set your intentions and begin to manifest, you must trust that the seeds of your desires are growing, even if you can't yet see the results. This trust is the essence of faith, a deep knowing that the universe is working on your behalf, even in silence. Persistence in faith requires you to hold your vision firmly, especially when faced with challenges. Obstacles and delays are not signs of failure, they are opportunities to strengthen your resolve. Many people give up too soon because they interpret delays as denials. But what if the delay is simply preparation? What if the universe is aligning circumstances in your favor, ensuring that your desires manifest in the best possible way? Faith doesn't demand immediate results, it demands unwavering confidence regardless of external conditions. When doubts arise, and they will, it's crucial to counter them with affirmations of faith. Remind yourself of the times when you've overcome obstacles and achieved what once seemed impossible. Reflect on the promises of divine laws that ensure what you believe you will receive. Faith is not the absence of doubt, but the ability to rise above it. Each time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your capacity to manifest creating a ripple effect that accelerates the process. Persistence in faith also means taking inspired action. Faith without works is stagnant. To manifest, you must act as though your desires are already on their way. If you're manifesting financial abundance, take steps to improve your skills, manage your finances wisely, or explore opportunities that align with your vision. If you're manifesting a healthier body, begin by making choices that support that goal, such as eating well, exercising, and prioritizing rest. These actions signal to the universe that you are serious about your desires, creating a powerful synergy between your intentions and reality. A critical aspect of faith is the ability to stay focused on your vision, even when surrounded by negativity. Not everyone will understand your journey or support your dreams. Some may even try to discourage you, projecting their own fears and limitations onto you. This is why faith must be internalized. It cannot rely on external validation. Protect your vision by guarding your thoughts and surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Remember, your faith is a personal relationship with the divine. It doesn't require approval from anyone else. Faith is also about surrender. While it may seem paradoxical, true faith is not about controlling every detail, but about trusting the bigger picture. When you persist with faith, you acknowledge that there is a divine intelligence at work, orchestrating the perfect plan for your life. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the need to know every step and trusting that each step will reveal itself in time. This surrender creates space for miracles, as it allows the universe to work without the interference of your doubts and fears. Gratitude plays a vital role in nurturing persistence in faith. When you give thanks for what you have and what is coming, you reinforce your belief in the manifestation process. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reminding you of the countless blessings already in your life. This positive energy fuels your faith, making it easier to stay committed to your vision. Begin each day with a moment of gratitude, thanking the universe for the progress you've made and the desires that are on their way. Another powerful tool for maintaining faith is visualization. Spend time each day envisioning your desires as though they have already manifested. See yourself living the life you've imagined, feeling the emotions of joy, fulfillment, and gratitude. Visualization keeps your faith alive by reinforcing the reality of your desires in your mind. It strengthens your connection to your vision, making it feel more tangible and achievable. Finally, persistence in faith requires patience. Manifestation is not a race, it's a journey. Some desires may manifest quickly, while others take time. This doesn't mean one is more significant than the other. It simply reflects the complexity of aligning circumstances. Trust in divine timing, knowing that everything will unfold at the perfect moment. Patience is not about waiting idly, it's about remaining steadfast in your belief, even when progress seems slow. To persist with faith is to walk a path of certainty, even when the road ahead is unclear. It is to trust that every step, every challenge, and every delay is part of a divine plan leading you to your desires. Faith is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. When you persist with faith, you align yourself with the limitless power of the universe, making it not just possible but inevitable to manifest multiple things at once. Your persistence is your declaration to the universe that you are ready, willing, and able to receive the life you've envisioned. Hold your faith like a flame, guarding it from the winds of doubt, and let it light your path toward the reality you deserve. In the process of manifesting multiple things at once, perhaps the most misunderstood yet critical principle is divine timing. This concept is simple yet profound. Everything unfolds at the perfect moment, not a second sooner and not a moment later. It is the art of trusting that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrates your desires with precision. Embracing divine timing is not about waiting passively. It is about aligning your energy with faith, patience, and readiness, trusting that what is meant for you will come when the conditions are right. Have you ever planted a seed and expected it to sprout instantly? Nature does not operate on impulse or haste, it follows an intricate timeline. The same applies to the manifestation of your desires. While it's natural to want immediate results, understand that rushing the process often leads to frustration and disappointment. Divine timing ensures that everything you manifest comes to you in its fullest form, at the moment when you are most prepared to receive it. But why does divine timing matter? The answer lies in preparation. Often we think we're ready for the things we desire, but in reality there are aspects of our lives, mindsets, or circumstances that need to evolve before we can fully embrace those blessings. Imagine desiring financial abundance but lacking the discipline to manage it wisely. Or envision wanting a fulfilling relationship while still carrying unresolved pain from the past. Divine timing allows you to grow into the person who can receive, sustain, and appreciate the blessings you're asking for. This growth period is not a punishment, it is a blessing in disguise. It is the divine's way of ensuring that you are not only ready for your desires, but that those desires are ready for you. The waiting period refines you, deepens your faith, and strengthens your resolve. It teaches you patience, gratitude, and trust, qualities that enrich your life far beyond the manifestation itself. Instead of resisting this period, embrace it as a time of preparation and alignment. To embrace divine timing, you must first release the need to control the process. Control is rooted in fear, the fear that if you don't micromanage every detail, things won't work out. But the truth is, the universe doesn't need your interference, it needs your trust. When you surrender control, you open yourself to the flow of divine timing, allowing the process to unfold naturally. This doesn't mean you stop taking action, it means you take inspired action while letting go of the need to dictate the outcome. Patience is a key component of embracing divine timing. Patience is not about idly waiting, but about maintaining faith and focus while the universe does its work. It's about trusting that the delays you perceive are actually moments of alignment, ensuring that everything falls into place perfectly. When you feel impatience creeping in, remind yourself of the times in your life when things worked out better than you could have planned. Trust that the same principle is at work now. Another aspect of divine timing is recognizing the signs that the universe sends you. These signs may come as opportunities, synchronicities, or even obstacles. Pay attention to the subtle nudges and messages that guide you. Sometimes what seems like a delay or a setback is actually a redirection, steering you toward a path that better aligns with your desires. Trust that the universe is always working in your favor, even when it's not immediately apparent. Gratitude is a powerful practice that helps you embrace divine timing. When you give thanks for where you are now, you align yourself with the flow of the universe. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, creating a sense of contentment and trust. This positive energy not only accelerates the manifestation process, but also makes the waiting period more fulfilling. Practice gratitude daily, not just for the blessings you've received, but for the ones on their way. Divine timing also teaches you the value of detachment. Detachment is not about giving up on your desires, it's about releasing your attachment to how and when they manifest. When you are overly attached, you create resistance, as your energy becomes fixated on fear and lack. Detachment, on the other hand, allows you to focus on the joy of the present moment, while trusting that the future is unfolding perfectly. It's the art of saying, I trust that what is meant for me will come, and I am at peace in the meantime. Faith plays a crucial role in embracing divine timing. Faith is the unwavering belief that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable. It is the bridge that connects your present reality to the future you envision. When you hold on to faith, you eliminate doubt, fear, and impatience. Faith allows you to see the waiting period not as a delay but as an essential part of the journey. Strengthen your faith through prayer, meditation, or any practice that connects you to the divine. Lastly, divine timing invites you to focus on personal growth. While waiting for your desires to manifest, use this time to work on yourself. Enhance your skills, nurture your relationships, and deepen your connection to your purpose. Growth is not only fulfilling but also essential for aligning with your desires. The more you grow, the more equipped you become to handle the blessings that are on their way. Trust that every effort you make now is contributing to the manifestation of your dreams. Embracing divine timing requires patience, trust, and a willingness to surrender control. It asks you to align your actions with faith, to focus on growth, and to trust that the universe is working in your favor. Divine timing is not a delay, it is a perfect orchestration of your desires, ensuring that they come to you in their fullest and most beautiful form.